Yo, Hendor here with Average Use Slow-Pitch. Today we're getting a chance to bring out the Pier Branch. This is a 12-inch barrel. This is going to be the X19 tech, meaning it's going to be more game ready than what we've kind of brought to you previously in the year with like the Lambrite, Irvine, the Roof X, and the CE. So excited to kind of see what this does straight out of the wrapper versus those other ones which needed some more swings to really open them up. With this one, you are going to get a more of a glossy type barrel versus like the NDM2, NDM3, which have that tackier barrel that Pier puts out there on some of their models. We are going with a 26-ounce, 1-ounce end load model today. When you're on Pier's website, you have a choice between, I think, anywhere from 25 to 27, and then anywhere from, I believe it's balanced, half ounce, and full ounce. So you do have some choices there. And then as of shooting this video, it's December 13th today, I do believe. These are still on sale from their Black Friday. So I think $239.99. And if you look down in the description of the video, you'll see my good buddy Emilio Lovato. His code's down there. It's actually Emilio Lovato. But obviously, if you need to spell that properly, take a look down there or copy his link from the description of the video. It'll give you kind of that extra discount on top of the sale that's already going on. So we're going to go ahead, throw this on the tester, see where it's at. Again, with this being kind of a game ready tech, we're expecting to only throw about 20 to 30 52s on it just to kind of loosen the barrel up, open the fibers. And then we're going to put probably no more than 50 total Pro M's on there with our Razos, our ZNs, and then our Gold Dots, all the 44-375 Pro M's, and then no hardcores, no stadiums, anything like that. So let's go ahead, throw some swings on it, see what it's all about, come back with final compression, final thoughts. All right, let's see where our Pier Branch test at. Again, this is that 12-inch model. You can select your end loads on Pier's site. We went with a 1-ounce as discussed in the intro. Just re-mentioning it for anybody who skipped through or didn't watch the intro. And pretty much what we expect kind of with that X19 tech, right at about that 275, just under 275. But this should be pretty much game ready for the most part, similar to like the NDM2 from my understanding. So we're gonna go with about 20 to 25 52s while rotating the barrel just to open it up a little bit. And then we will get about 50 Pro M's and then come back with final compression, final thoughts. All right, Pier Branch, again, 12-inch barrel. It's got the glossy paint job, not the tacky barrel. We've got a 26 1-ounce end load. We're gonna go with a couple 52s here from everybody, just to kind of open the barrel up a little bit, get this thing fibers kind of loosened up, and then we'll go Pro M's with kind of that game ready tech.
100 miles per hour.
Woohoo!
86 miles per hour.
There's a good one.
85 miles per hour.
Damn, 85 off of 52, dude? Nino.
90 miles per hour.
Well, and obviously good carry.
83 miles per hour.
All right, let me
95 miles per hour.
Man, it's definitely got a good feel with the 52s, though. You get good feedback off this.
84 miles per hour. 79 miles per hour.
Good work.
97 miles per hour.
Yeah, dude, great feel with the 52s, which I wasn't expecting on a game-ready type barrel.
93 miles per hour.
Yeah, that's all we need with the 52s. Again, it's not very common you get a bat that's pretty much game ready out of the wrapper and still gives you, I feel like, good feedback with good performance in the 52s. Usually the lower compression doesn't perform as great with them, but felt good. You knew exactly where you caught it. Let's swap over now to what everyone really cares about, which is the Pro M's.
96 miles per hour.
Well, there's the difference right there.
99 miles per hour. 102 miles per hour.
Woohoo! Yeah, I mean, this reminds me of what you got with like the Lambrite, Irvine, all those different models. Once you obviously got the 200-300 swings and really broke them in. Now, with those ones, you can still game them early on, but they need the swings to really open them up. This one, so far, super forgiving while having great feedback. You know exactly where you catch it. And then obviously you're getting great speeds off of it as well. Still have kind of that stiffer feel in the hand, so not a lot of flex, which is great. And I mean, sound is probably the biggest difference from this X19 kind of composite with the game ready versus what we saw with Lambrite, CE, Roof X, and Irvine.
85 miles per hour.
Okay.
85 miles per hour. 97 miles per hour.
You could just hear the velocity at which it hit that tree.
94 miles per hour. 79 miles per hour. 90 miles per hour.
Well, there's forgiveness because that's a miss and that ball's gonna fly. Yep. Yeah, with the weighting on it, again, this is a 26 1-ounce end load. It's not over exaggerating end load, but you can definitely tell you have that 1 ounce versus, let's say, a balance or a ½ ounce. And it still makes it pretty easy to control. You do have to really ensure as you're trying to go backside middle, you're not dipping that barrel, getting under the ball. But again, if you're buying a 1 ounce, it should be because you want that heavier end load and you're kind of used to it. So just kind of keep that in mind. But Pier's always done a good job with their weighting to make sure it's pretty true. So if you want somewhere in the middle, obviously go ½ ounce.
91 miles per hour. $79 miles per hour.
I was pieced.
98 miles per hour.
Well, I landed halfway in the outfield on the other field. Yeah, you can't want much more out of a brand like this, which you know is going to last you as far as it's not going to break. We'll see what the compression does here in a minute. We're not going to put a bunch of swings on it because it's game ready, but it gives you every bit of the forgiveness, performance, feedback that you want from a high-end bat.
91 miles per hour.
Over the batter's eye.
I'm gonna end on that one before I fuck around and pop the next one up.
81 miles per hour. 106 miles per hour.
Well, that seems like a good one to end on. So, again, we'll talk about more in the final thoughts. Don't want to beat a dead horse there, but Pier's been doing a great job. I mean, they've always had really hot bats. I think they finally dialed in, for me, the compression piece. If you're somebody who doesn't want to have to BP, game ready, you get the forgiveness, feedback, all that stuff, performance you want, that's where this branch is going to come in. I know their NDM model same way. If you want to still have the sweet spot performance out of the wrapper, but want to be able to BP your bats, really break it in, that's where you're going to go Rufex, Irvine, Lambright, CE, and then obviously have a bunch more models dropping here in 2025. But definitely a great choice. Let's see where it tests at, and we'll come back with final thoughts. All right, our Pier branch. Let's see where that final compression's at. Again, this is more of that game-ready tech, so we tried to keep the swings low. We got about 20 52s and then about 50 Pro-M, so we're right around that 70 swing mark there. Might be a little bit more than you probably should put on it, especially with Pro-Ms, but this is still going to put us, yeah, and even for how good it felt, we're still sitting like 260, pushing nearly 275, so it really hasn't moved much, which is awesome to see. One of those bats that, honestly, with how it felt, I would be willing to game it pretty much out of the wrapper. I do think around that 20 to 30 swing mark, you felt a slight opening of the sweet spot, so put some BP on there would be still my recommendation, but it by no means has to have that BP in order to be ready to swing. Yeah, and there you have it. So no issues there. A model that I know you'll be able to swing for a while without having to worry about it failing. I know Keith, who's here on the channel, still swings one of the older branches, and it's past him, I don't know, 1,500 plus swings, so just something to keep in mind. All right, and we are swings and final compression complete here with the Pier branch. I've got Keith on here with me as well to kind of talk about this one, just because he's the one guy out here who's been swinging Pier for a while. So you can see this is his gamer. He's had the older branch. Thing's got probably 2,000 swings. I've seen him swinging that pretty much since I've known him. But with that being said, here on the newer model, this is a 12-inch barrel. You choose your end load. We went with a 26 1-ounce end load. You can go, I believe, balance or ½ ounce on this one. You just got to go ahead and pick what you want on Pier's website. But with it being said, even though it's got that kind of X19 tech, which is a little bit different than Lambright, Irvine, CE, Rufex, it's closer to what, and it's the same tech, actually, it's on the NM 2 and 3. Even though this thing was game ready and felt great out of the wrapper, it still, as you saw, held compression great, which is awesome, because now you have a bat that if you're somebody who doesn't want to take a lot of BP, let's say maybe you got a tournament coming up, you broke your gamer, and you're looking for something that you can just take out of the wrapper and swing, this is definitely a great option. It's got a stiffer type handle, in my opinion. Definitely didn't feel like there was a lot of flex, which I really liked. I know Keith really likes that as well. I've definitely never been a huge flex fan, but you get great feedback off this. The sweet spot, great response. You get kind of that just jumps off, no real feel in the hands. You know you caught the sweet spot. And then even for being a 12-inch barrel, you get good forgiveness high and low off of the sweet spot, but the handle is going to let you know. So obviously if you catch it lower, stiffer handle, your hands are going to feel it. Don't do that again type of thing. And then when you catch it higher, you're still gonna get a little bit of that ring so that you know that, hey, that's where I caught this thing. But for me, it's definitely a great option with the way the compression is on there too. If you're somebody who wants something that's game ready, but you can also BP for a little bit first, obviously this is an option that you can take. We only put 50 swings on it, but the compression was still close to, I think, 270 if I remember correctly. So again, you could throw a whole bunch more swings on it. Again, it's about 50 degrees out here by the time we got done. So not super cold. Yeah, we kept the bat and the balls inside, but it's something I'm not too worried about breaking in the cold. And like I've mentioned, Keith's got a branch that he swung out here with us in all sorts of temperatures, and that one's held up just fine. And I know Pier's done even better with kind of improving their tech. So that's something you can keep in mind there as well. And lastly on this one, this is currently still on sale right now with the new stuff coming out for $239.99 on Pier's site. If you go down the description of the video, there's a link to Pier's site, as well as my buddy Emilio Lovato's code is down there. If you throw that in at checkout, they will actually give you an additional discount on top of the sale. So you can get a bat that is, again, very, very good. It's gonna last you compression-wise, great performance for sub 240 basically, and it comes with a return. So just something to keep in mind. But before we wrap this thing up, I'll let Keith just kind of talk about what he thought from the new branch versus obviously his super broken in one, which isn't obviously apples to apples comparison, but at least he's kind of knows what the feel of that older model was versus the newer one, and then we'll wrap it up.
So yeah, I mean, he pretty much covered everything. It's really the same bat, short barrel, good end load. The biggest thing about it is you can beat these things to death. I probably have a lot closer to 3,000-4,000 swings on it. I've hit everything under the sun from 52s, stadiums, hitting all kinds of weather, and this thing still, it passed a couple of weeks ago in Hobbs. It passed this year for Military World, so this thing holds compression well. So I'm curious to see how many swings you can get on that one before, it actually gets under that failing mark.
Yeah, and we've actually got a no return version of one of these as well that I've had from a return earlier that we're going to hold on to, and we're going to throw a bunch of swings this offseason on as well. So we'll definitely know by the time the season rolls around what exactly it'll do compression-wise, durability-wise, and then along the lines of that, I know Pier's even improved their tech even more going into next year. So it'll be interesting to see just how much better they make it, because their bats are already some of the top bats kind of on the market. But either way, thanks for Keith coming out here. You obviously saw Andrew on there as well, Tooney, Mike, everyone that helped us kind of get the swings done here on the pier, plus some of the other reviews that we've knocked out here recently. But hopefully that helped you kind of decide if you want to pick one of these up, maybe go with like an NDM 2-3 model, or you want to go with one that's going to require more BP, let you really dial it in the Lambright, Irvine, things like that. But either way, thanks for checking out the video. Have a great night.